Welcome back to the Poutin House. I'm Steve. This is our 67 Mustang project car. Today we're going to be working on the steering column. When we put this car together, we put a Borgeson power steering unit in it. Now, when you do that in a 67, you have to change the steering shaft inside the column. Unfortunately, back in 67, these cars did not come with a collapsible steering column. They weren't out yet. So the steering shaft is solid. So that also means when you put this together, you have to trim the steering shaft to fit the car. I may not have trimmed it enough, so it's a little longer than it needs to be. Now, does the car drive? Yeah, it actually drives really well. The problem is, because the steering shaft is a little bit longer than it needs to be, it holds the steering wheel a little bit away from the steering column. So the turn signal canceling and the horn do not work. Everything else is fine, but the turn signal and the horn, it doesn't work real well. So we're going to correct that today. We're going to try to cheat, see if we could take the steering shaft out without taking the column out of the car. So if I can accomplish that, we'll save some time, get this thing trimmed down a little bit, put it all back together, and we should have a good working car. Buckle up, let's see what we could do. Okay, so what we're going to do first is unbolt the steering column. I'm going to get the air cleaner out of the way, that way you guys can see a little bit better, so my cameraman can get right in there and see what's going on. As I've said before, this car is an original 289 4-barrel car. The carburetor that came with this car, they were not exactly desirable. We have it, but we don't use it because they are tricky to get them not to leak. So we stuck a Edelbrock carburetor on there. Works fantastic. Hopefully I got something here that'll fit it. All right, set screws out. Okay, so our next step is going to be see if the steering shaft will come out. It's coming out. See if we're going to get lucky and this actually comes out, and it does. Okay, so we're going to take this over to the bench and we can trim it down a little bit. Right here is my turn signal, right in here. On the back side of the steering wheel, there's a little pin. That pin is what triggers the cancel. And of course, you got a horn ring right in here as well. So if this thing ain't touching, none of that's going to work. Right here, this spline is to slide into the coupler for the steering column, or for the steering box. You'll see these little divot points. That's where my set screw is. Set screw's out the other end of it. I still got some spline showing. I only need less than 1/4 inch, about 1/8 of an inch. So we're just going to shave down the tip of this so that way it'll go further in. So we'll get a cutter and trim that. Now I put white towels on the bench. Do I always do that? No, not even close. But the reason I did that was this is a brand new steering wheel. It's my wife's car. I don't want to get her mad at me. You know, happy wife, happy life.
Did you measure for how much had to come off, or?
No, I eyeballed. I used a measurement called the iometer. If you're not familiar with that, just take a look at something and see how big it is.
Yeah.
You're measuring it with your iometer. So what I'm going to do is just simply dress this edge. And why am I chamfering the edge? A couple of reasons. One, it makes it a little easier to get back down in place, and two, you don't cut yourself. Not bad for freehand. We're going to take this, slide it right back in. See, with those towels on here, I can put this face down, I don't have to worry about messing up the wheel. I'll show you a couple things on here. Here's your horn ring right here. That's this centerpiece. And then you've got this ring in the middle. See that little notch? That's in there for the turn signal cancellation. So when this goes back in, this should all line up and hit. And if I did it right, I should be able to work the horn and the turn signal should work properly again. So let's find out.
All right.
Okay, now let's see if that worked. It's in there. That one's all the way in. This one is about as far in as I can go, and it's not quite hitting yet. Sorry, it's the only way I could test it. All right, Nick, could I get your hands for a moment?
Sure. On it. What you need?
Sit in the car, and you're simply going to press the steering wheel in.
Okay.
That way I can lock it down, and everything should be in place.
Oh, I get to sit in this fancy thing.
So just push it straight ahead.
All right.
All
Pushing
right.
straight. It's a nice steering wheel.
Yeah, the original steering wheel that was on there.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know that was the horn.
The original one that was on there was broken and bent. Well, that wasn't good. One thing every mechanic wants to hear when they drop something.
Yeah.
Hits the ground. Now, see if the horn works. So I guess we got it.
How's that?
That was a quick cheat. Nope. Well, that didn't work.
What were you trying to do?
What I was doing was turn the turn signal on. I should be able to, and the reason I need the engine running is because it is power steering, turn the wheels back and forth and cancel out the turn signal. But that's not working, and we got to figure out why. I don't really have any room left on that shaft to trim it. It's in all the way. So now we got to come up with another way to, I'm trying to get my eyes in there a little bit better. Yeah, I'm fully engaged down here. Now I just need to figure out how to move that up a little bit. Maybe we can move the steering column up and leave the shaft attached. Anytime you're working with aftermarket parts, if you don't make the assumption you're going to have to tinker with it, then you're lying to yourself. Well, that closed up the gap real good. Let's see if we can do it. All right, so shaved down the shaft, adjusted the column, fine-tuned it a little bit. Now we got turn signals back and the horns back. Anytime you're building a classic car, muscle car, any kind of car, and you got that much stuff apart, it is inevitable. Things are going to be a little bit off. I choose, rather than worry about the nitty-gritty all the time, to make the fine-tune afterwards. I can get everything adjusted in, make everything happy. So to address the one elephant in the room that everybody else is going to be commenting down below, you didn't line up the steering wheel when you put it in. You're right. It is rough aligned. It is not perfect, but it is rough aligned. I set the car straight prior to shooting. The reason I didn't worry about it so much is because next step is to go to the alignment rack and get this front end aligned perfectly. It's a little bit off. Again, we did it with tape measures and bubbles, but we're not set up here to do a perfect alignment. So to address that, yell at me in the comments. I want to hear it. I want to see it. So we got that one done. We're going to mark this guy off the list, fix the steering column. We'll get it aligned. And the next time we're here, we're going to do rear brakes. Car's got good rear brakes, but if you remember I told you in the last video, and if you didn't, maybe you want to go back and see that, the proportioning valve doesn't work correctly in this car. So we're going to fix that next time. Have a good day.